Zero accuracy to read what I have.
Recording in progress.
Good morning, everybody. I, Dr. Zoe Rangwala, Head of Physiotherapy and Rehabilitation Medicine Department, Saifee Hospital, would like to introduce you Mr. Saifuddin Kapasi, who is a well-known management coach and trainer. He is a faculty at Sydenham Institute of Management, Burhani College, and business head of Vox Bicycle. He is a well-known acclaimed speaker at good number of international conferences. Today, he is going to introduce us concept of Net Promoter Score for us. He will share an enriching learning experience to us. Welcome, Mr. Saifuddin Kapasi.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zoeb Rangwala, for inviting me and giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak to Dr. Rangwala, yourself, and your wonderful team of practitioners, doctors at Saifee Hospital. It's indeed my privilege. With these few words, I also thank you for the lovely introduction, and I set to go ahead with the session itself. So, learned doctors of Saifee Hospital, here is what I am tabling on screen today. Welcome to this session on Beyond Customer Centricity, Lead the Service Differentiation the NPS way. Okay, so customer service or patient service, the learned team attending today is engaged consciously in providing service and healthcare to patients. So step up today to be a differential service provider a differential patient care practitioner, or step out. What I mean by step out is that if you step up, you go up the ladder. If you step out, you take a back seat. Jo hona hai wo hoga. I will do what I can do. Whatever happens, whatever is the outcome, I am just following my protocol and leave it to chance, leave it to the patient's luck. But we are not that. We are qualified people who love and care our patients and would like to do the best for them. So the why and how story of Step Up is what I will bring to screen today for all of you. Now, customer service. What is customer service? Why customer service? Who will render customer service? Who will render patient service? It's all of us who are present today. Now, realities of life. Let me tell you something. It's on the lighter side. There is this gentleman who is watering a plant, and his manager comes from behind and tells him that you are watering a plastic plant. And he boldly replies, yes, I am. Why? He says, funny story. Your boss, he tells his manager, your boss replaced the plastic plant from the original genuine plants to save money. And he says, my company has a contract to water your plastic plant, so I am keep doing what I am doing. You keep serving the patients as per a protocol, wonderful. But is there some on you can go and tell your manager that I need to bring this change. This is now outdated. No one ever canceled my contract. So when we change from real plants to plastic plants to save money, the contract of the watering guy should have been changed, which is common sense. But the top man did not have the common sense. So the person down the line kept on watering. And this is what happens in real life. And hence I call it the realities of life. Now, what is service? Service is the key differentiator in the value chain. Either you serve or you perish, you extinguish. And we don't want to do that. So the belief in the ecosystem, in the corporate environment, in any forum, in any organization, in this institution, will always be that if you are serving a patient directly, serve a person who serves a patient. Now, what do I mean over here? I have been a patient here, and a wonderful set of doctors treat me. And there is a gentleman called Nitin, if I remember his name correctly. He is a classic example of if you are not serving a patient directly, serve a person who serves a patient. So when Dr. Cynthia calls out Nitin, and he comes out and helps Dr. Cynthia to get that available thing which she is requiring to serve any patient, he is the man of the moment who is serving the patient indirectly. And he is a critical factor. He or she will be a critical factor in the value chain of providing service. And when we go to the higher level today, we will understand what is the role of each one in the service ecosystem. Look at this again. Some man comes to somebody and says, as usual, someone calling themselves a customer is demanding service, wants to meet you. He wants something called the word service. Internal and external customers, there are many. So in this hospital, you may be directly treating a patient. There may be somebody who is indirectly treating the patient, and that person can be the accounts department or the finance department. So in the value chain of service, If at a billing counter, there are 100 people waiting in a queue, for some reason, I'm just saying, and there are empty beds available, then the value chain is broken. So there are process corrections, which there are management tools which help you to do that. And we are not discussing that. We are discussing service. So we'll go a little ahead from you. Sorry, I will just need a second to set the screen all right again. Yeah. So service leads to satisfaction. This is no big mantra. Everybody knows it. Customer service, you get satisfaction. There should be a measurable output. If my customer is happy, there is money in my bank account, period. No second thought about it. There has to be a transactional profit or a transactional income. Otherwise, what I said in the beginning, people will perish. So check the satisfaction on service. Now I'm slowly going to the main point for today. Check the satisfaction of service. Quality of service level should be felt. It cannot be, I have got 12 inches of satisfaction. It should be felt. A person should speak from the heart, thank you, or thank you so much for your help. It's how the feeling comes out. If it's a formality to say thank you, the thank you will look like a thank you, or it may look like a pleasing thank you so much for the help that you gave me. Not what you feel, it's how she feels, the patient feels about your service. Lead the change. Understanding the mindset of organizations and their leadership, innovating and bringing that change and thought leadership. Its thought leadership is not only for the CEO or the top manager of the hospital or the institution. It is for each one of us who are attending this session today. Creating an environment of simplicity and trust where people believe that what you are doing is what you are rightly doing, and you believe yourself in doing what you are doing. So service differentiators, you all, we all are service differentiators. The 10 participants right now are differentiators of service. Are you all ready to be the differentiators in service today? And I would request a few people to unmute and tell me, are you ready? Because if you are ready to take that risk to be a different level of service provider, then I proceed with this session, or I request Dr. Rangwala that we are done. We can close the session. Anyone willing to take a risk? All of you, let me hear some answers, please. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are ready.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So I have got some wonderful responses, Dr. Rangwala, and we go ahead. So our team is ready for being the service differentiators and the best service providers. Now how? Move from customer service to measurement of CSAT to NPS. Now I'll talk about this. So what do normally people do? People will say, was my service level good? The patient will say, yes, it was good. If it was not good, he will go and tell Dr. Rangwala. He will not tell you on your face. It happens in a restaurant also. Sometimes in a restaurant, you will tell the serving waiter that your service is very good, the food is excellent, but the food he has not cooked. There is a chef who has cooked the food. He has baked the cake. But the thank you or the good note goes to the waiter who is serving you. So if somebody enters the hospital building and the service at the entrance is not good, somebody might lend up and tell the service provider, doctor, that is you, that I had this problem. Now Generally speaking, if you get a good CSAT score, CSAT means customer satisfaction. C means customer satisfaction. The customer satisfaction in India has been there for the last 20, 30 years. And all of us are used to taking candid feedback, good feedback from people, whether it is business or whether it is patients. We have standard questions and they are good. But what I am going to talk today is to screen to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, that all that is outdated. What is the current thing is that you have to move from CSAT to NPS, and I will talk about it now. NPS is Net Promoter Score. It's a customer loyalty matrix. It's a measurable tool to measure whether your customer is happy, yes or no, but with a numeric answer. And many few organizations in India do it. If there are 100 people who are really caring about customer service, there are 95 people who do CSAT, customer satisfaction survey. But maybe 5 out of 100 who are in this area do NPS. And maybe if you all agree with me today, you will all start doing NPS from 1:30 p.m. today when this session ends, hopefully. Net Promoter Score is a management tool that can be used to gauge the loyalty of a firm's customer relationship. It serves as an alternative to traditional customer satisfaction measurement. Now, how to measure? We have to be very clear to ask pertinent questions, very specific questions, very few questions. There are organizations, I will show you later, would ask hundreds of questions or 10 questions, 20 questions. We will ask maybe just 2 pertinent questions, and I will come to it. Get straight answers, not vaguing answers. Did you like it? Was it good? Now, was it good? Yes or no? But how much good? Was my service fine? Yes or no? Is a very close-ended answer. We have to ask different level of questions which are pertinent and get a numeric score which will be converted into a measure of success for each one and then for the institution. Let's take the example of customer service, that is CSAT satisfaction, not NPS. I have not yet now gone to NPS. I have only touched upon the concept. So in a restaurant, what they will do? How was the quality of food? You will be told to write yes or no, good, bad, ugly, or they will tell you write excellent, very good, good, satisfactory or unsatisfactory. Correct? Or they will tell you, please rate us from 1 to 5, where 1 is very bad and 5 is very good. Was our service good? Taste was fine? Did you like the food? Were you served well by Mr. ABC who was serving you? Was he pleasing? How did you like the ambience? Any improvement do you suggest? Then they will keep some space to write your comments. Would you suggest any changes in our dishes? Now, these questions, when I put them on screen, they look very relevant. I am not saying they are wrong. The only thing, ladies and gentlemen, I am saying is that they are outdated. They are outdated. It is like a wonderful doctor using a 30-year-old machine. The machine may still be working well, but the machine is obsolete. There are modern machines available, and that is what we have to learn to use. Would you visit our restaurant again? Arey baba, bhook lagega to main visit karunga. How was the quality of the food? For me, the quality of the food was very good. My wife did not find it good. How do you differentiate between 2 people sitting on the same table? Taste was fine. Taste was fine. I wanted to eat vegetable biryani and he served me dal and rice. Now, how do I define vegetable biryani as a differentiator with dal and rice? Hence, customer satisfaction today is not the best way. I am not saying it is wrong. I am saying it is not the best way to measure service level. Again, now for a hospital, customer satisfaction survey questions, not NPS again. How was our ambience when I entered the hospital, when I entered the treatment room? Was the treatment given to you appropriate? Arey Baba, the doctor had to give me a painful injection. Treatment was not good according to me, but according to the doctor, it was bad. Was the treatment given by the nursing staff, the therapist, the attending staff, doctor, good, bad, ugly? Who am I to determine that? He, she is much more qualified than me. Now, when you ask customer satisfaction questions, the person is answering based on his thought process. There is no scientific tool which will tell you that in a customer satisfaction question, you will get genuine answers. Sometimes the service provider is standing in front of you and you are filling up the form. You are bound to give a very good score. उसको खराब नहीं लगना चाहिए. डॉक्टर ने इतना मेहनत किया मेरे पास, इतना अच्छा सर्जरी किया, इतना अच्छा ट्रीटमेंट किया. I might not give genuine answer. How was the registration process at admission? Was my fee structure good? A rich man will say 10 lakh fee is nothing. A poor man will say 25,000 fee, I have been overcharged. Now, what is an NPS question? Trading firm. Look at the question, only one question a small shopkeeper will ask. Based on the interaction of my salesperson had with you today, how likely are you to recommend my products to your friends and relatives? What was asked in that restaurant in 7 questions or 10 questions or 5 questions, this one question, the beauty of this question, when after the comma it's asked, how likely are you to recommend my products to your friends and relatives? And I'll show you how the numerical answers will come. And what I am now showing to you, ladies and gentlemen, learned doctors, is that NPS questions, this is time tested by very large, good corporate organizations. Electric contractor or plumber, if that man will ask, based on the work done by my electrician, how likely are you to recommend my firm services to others? It becomes an NPS question. One question says it all. May I kindly request to be mute, please? You can speak and unmute at any time. So electrical contractor plumber will say, based on the work done by my electrician, how likely are you to recommend my firm's services to others? Professional chartered accountant. Based on the service of GST return file, I file for you. How likely are you to recommend my services to others? How likely are you to recommend my services to others becomes an NPS question, and I will gradually take you to show you how it is becoming that way. Now, how it is becoming. So in a hospital, and we are talking to learned doctors of the physiotherapy department. So what kind of smart questions can you ask? Based on the quality of services and treatment given, how likely are you to recommend our services to friends and relatives? This becomes one single NPS question for 8 to 10 other questions that you may want to ask. The next question should be, so in the first question, if you want, you can put the name of the doctor. You can modify this question based on the quality of services and treatment given to you by Dr. ABC. How likely are you to recommend our services to friends and relatives? Based on the availability of facilities, patient care, beds, equipment, gadgets, treatment apparatus, safety and hygiene conditions, how likely are you to recommend our department to your friends and relatives? The how likely part is very important. Now, At this stage, if there are any questions, I'm willing to take up, and then I'll go to the numerical part. So please post any questions. You can speak up. If this part is clear, it will help me to go to the next part. I'm stopping to share my screen for a minute or two. Please go ahead and ask any questions that you have at this stage. It will help me. So no question could mean only two things at this stage. Okay, it's all very clear or it's boring.
Sir, do we have an options in this?
Yes, doctor. We have options. This question is a very theoretical question I have put. Based on what you want to ask, an expert can help you frame the question. You can have 10 questions. How to convert that 10 questions into 1 or 2 NPS questions can be worked upon. I have given only a sample, an example. Make sense? Yes, doctor.
No, we want to know, nothing is said about the ambience of the department.
Yeah. Okay. So,
because that is equally important.
Fair question, doctor. So the second question which I had placed on screen, that can be modified. So based on the service level and the ambience and this and that, you can bring as many variables as you want. The lower the quantity of the variable, the better scientific numerical score you will get. So when I now go to numerical score, so ambience can be a question. So if there is an institution which is, let's say, now 20 years old or 10 years old, and there is another institution which is 2-year-old, which has come up 2 kilometers away. Now that institute which has come up in last 2 years is likely to have better ambience because your will be 10 years old. So if you want to ask a question on ambience, please go ahead and frame it in the NPS way, not in the customer satisfaction way, is the only thing I'm trying to bring up. So whether it is ambience, whether it is food quality, whether it is patient care, whether it is fee structure, whatever, just convert into ambience, just convert into NPS. And I will also help if you want help to convert into ambience, into NPS questions.
Thank you.
Sure, doctor. So we go ahead. Yeah. So these are 2 sample questions for the hospital. Some challenges happen on the screen and I will work on it immediately. Yes, it's on. So now free flow feedback. Questions. Would you like to give any suggestions for improvement? What did you like most about our facility? So after those first 2 questions which I just showed, these are the NPS questions and these become compulsory questions, only 1 or 2 questions. After that, to answer Dr. Rangwala's point, you can have a free flow question. Optional question. So in a Google form, supposing you are doing it by Google, you ask 1 or 2 NPS questions and then give a open-ended question. Did you like my ambience? On my ambience? Any comments on my food quality? Any comments on the bed sheet which was laid? It's up to you. And that you let the patient decide whether he or she wants to answer. Don't force a person to answer. The point I'm trying to make, if you are doing a survey with 100 people, in a normal course, 5 or 10 people will answer. But when you reduce the questions and don't make compulsion on the free flow questions, more people are likely to answer. That is what any marketing guru will tell you. I'm not one. Now, NPS response measurement. This is the most critical part of today's session. Customer satisfaction, you are asking, right? Good, bad, excellent, or satisfactory or unsatisfactory. In NPS, you have to compulsorily give an option from 0 till 10. And mind you, ladies and gentlemen, doctors, it is not 1 to 10. It is not 1 to 5. It is not extremely good or extremely bad. There are no English in this statement. There are only numbers of 0 to 10, and this is a scientifically correct way of measurement to take a score of 0 to 10 for each question. So how it will happen? Let's look at the first question that we asked. Based on the quality of the service provided by my physiotherapist, Dr. Mr. ABC, how likely are you to recommend him or her or Saifee Hospital to other patients, to your friends and family? Please give your answer from a score of 0 to 10. Now comes the challenge and how to interpret this data. So let's say Dr. ABC got a score from one patient of 0. Very sad. Dr. B got a score of 10 from another patient. Extremely good. One doctor got a score of 8 from a patient, and he or she got 10 scores from 10 different people, and let's say all of them gave a score of 8. Now what somebody will say, okay, 8 out of 10 is a very good score, but it is not 8 out of 10, it is 8 out of 11, because it is 0 to 10. So 8 is not 80% over here, it is 8 out of 11 scores, 11 units of measure of success. Now I'll go to the most critical part. What does a score of 0 to 6 mean? What does a score of 7 to 8 mean, which is yellow in color? And what does 9 and 10 mean scientifically? So 0 to 6 is one basket. All the people, let's say you did a survey of 100 people. All the people who gave a score of 0 to 6 will fall in one basket. All the people who gave a score of 7 or 8 fall in the yellow basket. And all the people who gave a score of 9 or 10 gave a score, will fall in one basket. Now, see the screen again. Earlier it was only numbers, NPS scores given from 0 to 10. Now we are defining 0 to 6 means he or she, your customer, your patient is a detractor, which means he or she hates you. Imagine getting a score of 0 to 6 and a person doesn't like you. Red color, detractor. It's not liking you. It is telling you that there is a chance of improvement. Otherwise, you have become a 90-year-old person. Life is life. What can I do? But no, we want people to be our detractors, so they tell us what is my level of improvement at any age. I am 58 years young. Dr. Rangwala calls me young. I'm 58 years young, but every day I am attempting to learn something. So if I get a detractor in my business, I am very happy to listen. Level of improvement. And 7 and 8 are passive people. They are in a simple language. They are nowhere. I request you to be on mute, please, if you don't mind. So 7 and 8, if I get a score from somebody, the person is passive. And 9 and 10 means that customer, that patient is my promoter. Because what was our question? Based on the level of services given by Dr. ABC, how likely are you to recommend my institution, my doctor to your friends and relatives? So if the person is genuinely found your services to be good and is going to recommend your services to other people, that is the measure of success. Not by just telling you a rosy picture, you are very good for me. Teacher, you are very good. You taught me very well. But will you recommend my school to other people? Then you are a promoter. Now, how detractor, passive, and promoter are measured into a quantifiable output? Here comes the results. So, detractor respond with a score of 0 to 6. They are unhappy patients who are unlikely to get treated from you again and may discourage other people to come to you for treatment. Passive respond with a score of 7 or 8. They are satisfied with your service but not happy enough to be considered as promoters. So that is why they are in yellow, neither idhar ka nor udhar ka. And promoters respond with a score of 9 or 10 and are typically loyal, enthusiastic people. They are full of Josh. How's the Josh? They are full of Josh. Enthusiastic people, they are customers and patients who are going to go and recommend you. They are going to promote you. They are going to promote your institution. They are going to promote and say, okay, Nitin is a service provider to a service provider doctor who serves the customer. So your journey of NPS starts now. Sorry. Yeah. Your journey of NPS starts now. How does it start? We will start measuring NPS. Whether you are in the red zone, see the frown, or in the yellow zone, cool, life is cool, I don't care, whatever is the score. Or I want to be in the green zone. I want myself to be in the green zone, myself in the green zone. I want my department to be in the green zone. I want Dr. Rangwala and his entire team to be in the green zone. I want my institution, Saifee Hospital, to be in the green zone. And we want people to be our promoters. So to do this, let's take an example, how to measure. Do we all want the balloons to be up for us in the green zone? Dr. Rangwala, what do you feel? The green zone gives balloons for our people and will bring promoters for the institution, for the department, and for each individual. So how do we measure? So now let's take a very theoretical example. Let's say we are doing a survey with 100 people. In option 1, look at vertical column 1. Out of the 100 people, there are 25 people who gave us a score of 25 people who gave us a score from 0 to 6. The person was not happy for whatever reason. Maybe you twisted his arm more than what was required. Not really, but genuinely, I'm just theoretically giving an example. Or he was not happy for whatever reason, and 25 people give you that score. There are 15 people in the yellow zone. Lovely, there are 60 people in the green zone. So how does the NPS score get calculated? Don't have to worry. It is a simple arithmetic formula. 35 is the answer. Promoter minus detractor is your NPS score. Forget the people in yellow. Idhar ka bhi nahi, udhar ka bhi nahi. He doesn't care about us. I don't care about him because he's not giving me a proper score. He's not telling me on my face, look, buddy, you are in the red zone. Nor is he telling me you are in the green zone. But he's important because tomorrow you don't serve him well, he will shift to red. So he is an opportunity to shift to green. Take the second vertical column, same 100 people, 45 gave you red score, 0 to 6, 10 gave you yellow, 7 or 8 score, and 45 people gave you green. Your NPS score is 0. Third example, 100 people, 55 in red, terrible, 20 in yellow, and only 25 green. Your NPS score is minus 30. Now, supposingly you get an NPS score of minus 30. Is it something to worry about? Yes. Is it something to say, take a seat back? Oh, I got an NPS score of 30. Nothing can happen about me. It's like a student getting 20 marks out of 100 in all his exams. Does the parent give up on him or her? No, never. The parent will take tuitions, will do this, will do that to bring him to the green zone. So, ladies and gentlemen, learned doctors, if you get a negative score, don't worry. You are lucky enough to be recognized as a person who has an opportunity to improve. So theoretically speaking, a NPS score can be measured for one person, a set of people, or for the institution. Can see the institution, can rate the institution. So for answer can be from a minus 100 to a plus 100, the way it is constructed. When you do it for the first time, you can get an answer of minus 100 or plus 100. Let's say on a 100 people thing, you get 100 in green zone. So red and yellow is 0, 100 minus red, which is 0, the answer is 100. Now converse to this, you get 100 people in red and 0 in green, then that minus 30 red box will become minus 100. So theoretically, arithmetically, it can be minus 100 to plus 100. Whatever is your score, when I did this for the first time 7-8 years ago, I was in Vodafone and my entire team, we had got a terrible NPS score. But that brought us to the table. All of us sat together and worked together to understand why our customer has given us a minus score. And we brought about that improvement as a continuous improvement. And we said, okay, we should get promoters. We should do away with passive and we should work upon our detractors also. When you do an NPS survey, tell the customer, if you are rating me from a 0 to 6, that means you don't like my services. If you are rating me here, you are falling in the yellow category. And if you are giving me a score of 9 to 10, then you are recommending my services. So educate people because everybody doesn't know this concept. And when you do that, it will be wonderful. It will be wonderful. So I would like to, at this stage, thank all of you for attending this session. I enjoyed speaking to you in the 50 minutes that I got this opportunity. It was lovely for me to share the concept. If anybody needs any help, I am here and I will help you frame your questions if you want to adopt the journey of NPS. I think Dr. Majumdar has raised a hand to ask a question. The forum is open. Dr. Rangwala, with your permission, yes. I can take up any questions from anybody.
Yes, carry on.
Thank you, Doctor. So the floor is open. The screen is open for any questions.
Good afternoon, Doctor. Good afternoon. I just want to know, this Net Promoter Score is for the entire institute, or you're just talking for a therapist or the department? Is the entire in once? One NPS score will include what is how's a doctor, how's a department, how's a service, everything, right?
Yes. So I will answer you. It's a very wonderful question. Thank you so much for raising it. It is you who can decide whether you want to do it at a one-to-one level or at a department level or at an institution level. I'll give you a very clear example. At the end of this session, if I ask you, based on the lecture delivered by Saifuddin Kapasi, how likely are you to recommend him to do sessions on NPS to your friends and relatives, rated from 0 to 10? And the 10, 12 people who attended this session today can all give an individual score to a Google Sheet or to WhatsApp to me, and I will calculate my own NPS score. I could change this question that based on the services rendered by Saifuddin Kapasi and the 20 other professors of Sydenham Institute of Management, how likely are you to recommend this institute to aspirant students to join our institute? So I can be a good, bad, ugly teacher. Somebody else can be better than me. Next person can be much better than me. The institute will get a score based on 10 professors. So you can decide whether you want to do it for yourself or for this department, or the top management of Saifee Hospital can decide to do it for the entire institute. Take baby steps. Take baby steps like what you want to do. I hope I have answered your question, doctor.
Yes, thank you so much.
Welcome. Any other questions? Dr. Rangwala, I think.
One more question.
Sure, doctor.
As you say, give only one question to your customer or the patient and get that answer. But don't you think that one question will be just sufficient, or we can put one or two more?
Yes, doctor. So I think again that's the right in the right direction. The question, you can take 4 or 5 questions. I recommend try to limit it to 2 to get more responses. The framing of the question, see, sometimes the ambience, this, we frame it into 5 questions. Try to combine it into 1. Try to combine it into 2. At the most, go to 3, and then give 2 free flow questions. FFF, what I mentioned. Give him an option. Give the patient, give the person an option whether he wants to answer that by writing English. The NPS questions, where he has to give a score from 0 to 2, 0 to 10, try to keep it maximum 2. I recommend that. And then give FFF, free flow questions. If you are lucky, he will write English in FFF. So let's say you do it with a survey with 100 people, 20 people will write something in FFF. That is more than enough to tell you whether ambience is good or bad. But NPS will tell you whether, Dr. Rangwala, are you getting promoters for your name, or are you getting detractors, or are you getting passive people? And if you are getting detractors and if you are getting promoters, let's say you get a promoter score for yourself, Dr. Rangwala, of 7 plus 7, I'm just saying, you will now try to make it 10 by saying, okay, what should I do? What should I do? You will ask yourself 20 questions sitting with your team. Similarly, your doctor will sit with her patients and ask them, okay, what should I do? She will not say, I want promoters. He or she will say, what should I do? What change you want from me? So some patient may say, okay, can you tell the liftman to be nice? I'm just giving a theoretical answer. No, she will say that is beyond me. Because the liftman was arrogant to a patient, poor thing, she got a detractor because the patient came very angry. So there are things which may be in their domain to control, certain things in the institute's domain to control, and certain things are outside, which you can't control. But what is controllable is what you try to control and try to improve and improvise for getting better results. And there is no logic, I want 100. No. When I started, my score was negative. It was negative. We were like in tears because such a big institution and we get a negative score. People will laugh at me. But the person who was training us explained that you are lucky that you started with a negative score. Now you will work on improvement. Otherwise, you will be relaxed. I got a plus 40 score. There is no scope for improvement. So be happy if you start with a negative score and ask less questions, doctor, to the extent possible, so you get more replies. That's the beauty of NPS.
I just remembered what the late J.R.J. Tata said. There is nothing like the best. It's always better and better.
Wonderful.
That is what very much implies here also.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Dr. Rangwala. Yes. Continuous improvement journey happens only through first accepting what Dr. Rangwala said, that yes, this is not the best. I have to go to the next level. I have to go to the next level. Okay. Any last question from the learned doctors? I think we are done, doctor.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. It was very much interesting. I hope my therapists will work on it and get the best out of it.
I'm sure they will. Goodbye, everybody. Signing off with wishing you all the best. Yes,
A small token of
oh my God.
thank you.
Not really required, but
Thank you.
nevertheless, thank
It
you
was
so
very
much.
nice of you to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. I really enjoyed speaking to this lovely audience.
Thank you.
Can I close the session now?
Yes, yes. You may.